This is Marimuthu Kanivadi. We have a session of ESG. ESG is a recent trend in worldwide. It's a environmental management systems and health and safety and social side. It's a new development. All the corporate companies are major concerns. All they are, they are all in share trading, or they are they are in shares. These all for investors. Nowadays, the company shares and share markets is very, very important for their growth, their development, their various achievements. So the share is very important for stockholders. Those who are stock in front of the stockholders, the establishment of their company is very, very important. So for that, they are socially responsible side, the ethical and moral side. ESG is a new way of development worldwide to contribute more things. E means environmental, S means social, G means governance, ESG. Then what is the purpose of ESG? The purpose, it is a risk matrix for the investors. How the company is environmentally, socially governing their industries, their officers, how they are morally and ethically responsible for the environment. So this is what we are, in a position to learn more about ESG. Nowadays, a lot of ISO standards are integrated. The ESG, we can say, the sustainability, one form of sustainability. So how the sustainability worldwide nowadays, very powerful subjects as per the environmental concerns. The same thing, ESG also a major concern. Those who are HSE professionals, EHS professionals, safety professionals, it is mandatory to know the ESGs, because the most of the companies are in corporate companies, and also nowadays they are all responsible for the medias, societies, and people. So for that, this ESG is a valuable one. When you have a ESG, then the issues all sort out by means of this ESG. So the environmental, governance part, social part, how the companies are running. For example, when we take the environmental side, the climate change, how the companies doing for the climate change purpose. The pollution reduction, how they are reducing the pollutions, and how they are green building, and how they are promoting the agriculture and green building, and how they are conserving the water and fuel and power, non-renewable resources. How the companies are performing about the various innovative environmental technologies, toxicologies, plastic-free life, how they are using the renewable energy resources, then sometimes how they are restricting the non-renewable energy resources, then how they are restricting the non-biodegradable substances like materials like plastic, and how they are restricted to use the biodegradable materials. So the climate change, ozone depletion, pollutions, climate, how the contribution of climate change, then environmental impact assessments, and pollution reductions, zero discharge, and the green building around their building, around their work, how much they are given for the society through the environment. So these things all comes under the environmental side. So greenhouse, how they are contributing the greenhouses gases, and also the footprint. What is their contribution for the carbon footprint? How much the carbon footprint they are into releasing, and then how they are reducing the carbon footprint. So this all comes under the environmental part. Then what about social? We have seen environmental. Now the environmental side, how the pollution, climate change, and then carbon footprint, and then ozone depletion, greenhouse gases, the pollution, zero discharge, green building, all we have seen through the environmental side. Sorry. Next one, social. The social side, it's coming the labor safety. How company performing about the labor safety, human rights, how far the companies doing the human rights. So it's all you have to monitoring, inspections, auditing. You have to do the human rights, being a socially responsible or social. Next one is human rights. Then we can say labor safety and labor engagements, and then community building, and then welfare, labor welfares, community, how the company is committed for the community building. Then how companies are encouraging the laborers to participate this one. Then reducing the harmful substances and tobacco uses. That is also social side. What is the policy for the tobacco? Then how they are reducing the using the harmful substances. So this also inspection, monitoring, and you have to have the proper this one ISO audit for that, and you have to report how the company monitoring this one, inspecting, auditing. The same thing, human rights and labor safety. Then work community building, how the community building the company, and how the lab workers and social compensation, how much the company giving the compensation for the workers, and then their welfare, their facilities. This all comes under the social side. We have seen environment, now social. These are labor safety, then human rights, then restriction of using the tobacco and harmful materials, then community building, then worker compensation and welfare. These all coming under the social side. Then third one is governance. How this corporate at the industry governing, how the structure governing, this also needs to be addressed, monitored, audited, and reported. So this governance is how the board members, what we can say, the impartiality of board members, and also companies political side, how company are involved, are their compensations and their participations or contributions. Political contribution, we can say right word is political contributions as per the governance side. And board diversity, board should be diverse one, the board people, what we know. Then board members compensation, how the board members are compensated, how their their compensation, their salary, their part all properly managed and compensated, and how the workers diversity are maintained, their board members diversity maintained. So this all comes under the governance side. How that company is involved for the country's political contributions, and then the board members' contributions. How the company contributing the board members for mutual understandings and mutual sharing the powers, and the eventuality of board members and diversity of board members and their contributions, and community building between the board members. So these all comes under the governance. So ESG means environment, social governance. So when the environment, social governance is in place, you have to be very strict on the all ISO standards related to environment. There are standards are there, 14,001. There are a lot of standards are there. Related to social, you have ISO 18,001, now 45,001, and other related human rights standards are there. And then labor standards, workplace standards are there. So these all standards comes under the social side. So governance side, how the governance ISO 9001 and so various standards are placed in the governance side. So ESG, all HSE and safety professionals, you must know that how these kind of ESG are placed. How far the ESG going there everywhere, because the environment, we have a environmental side everywhere we are speaking, but the social and governance is entered. Before we have seen health, safety, environment, EHS, HSE, QHSE, but now the part is a little bit elaborated. That one we can call it as a ESG. It's a modern term. How the companies, corporate companies, responsible for their society, their stockholders, their media side. So when you have a data about the environment, when you have a data about the social, when you have a data about the governance, the risk of companies is very less. You can easily follow the legislation of the companies, countries. Which country you are living, it's better to have follow ESG means you are following the country's legislations, and also you are giving edge to the society and media about your company's visibility in front of the media. So the ESG is very, very important for not only stockholders, but also the growth of the company, the risk reduced, the environmental concerns are increased, and in ways loss prevention more, and the incident accidents reduced. Then human rights, labor law you are following because of social. You are following national and international labor laws. You are following human rights. So because of you are following human rights, you have you are following legislations, and also the proper way of following the country's national rules and regulations, legislations. So it will avoid any unnecessary legal complications to the companies. So that is the social side. And also when the governance is proper, the sharing of the powers are equal, when you are contributing political side and the company is stabilized, following the standards properly, and the companies, in front of the investors and media, you will get a good name, and also the buyers also very, and sellers, buyers, everyone in a see a healthy manner. So the ESG framework itself, it's a healthy framework. We just in the 20 30 years before and all, only safety. Then we have a health issues raised. Then we can make it as a health and safety, and then the environmental concern, environmental potential risks are worldwide increased, then we can call it as an integrated form, that is HSC, health, safety, environment. The same thing when you have a EHS and QHSE, environmental side also. So now the increased form of elaborated worldwide ESG. So to reduce the complications, to reduce the legalities, to reduce illegalities, complications, and to reduce the risk in front of the investors, to reduce the risk in front of the medias, companies, when they are following ESG and properly monitoring and reporting and auditing, you have a 6 months audit or yearly audits. So based on that audit, you come to know what are the issues in that improvement potential. It non-compliances, you can know it about the ESG side, whether environment side is problem, whether social side is problem, or governance side problem. So which side is the problem, so that will be addressed, and continual improvement is important for this ESG side. So the companies now started to appoint the ESG manager, ESG officers, ESG engineers, so to contribute more about the ESG side. So you have to be strict on it. Environmental side, you have to be having the proper reports of pollution, EAA reports. You have environmental impact aspect, impact registers, environmental discharges, disposals reports, and the environmental monitoring devices and its reports, and then green building reports. This all needs to be audited, and also the how much energy conservation you did, paper conservation you did, water conservation you did, electricity you conservation. These all reports you must have for an environmental audit side, even for ISO 14001, all other sustainability and environmental related audits. Then same thing when you have a social, the same thing for human rights, in the safety, health and safety audits for the social side, and also the tobacco usage audit, any tobacco or any harmful substances using inside the premises, and how the community building, how worker compensation, how welfare is doing, this also getting audited for the social side. Then what about the governance side, how the structure of the structure of the board members, how biodiversity of the board members, how the board members participating their roles, their compensations, and then companies overall contribution to the politics, how the company is running, the board is running in a ethical and in a moral way in front of the media, in front of the world, how the companies are running in a ethical, moral way. That is a governance side. So how the board managements are properly displaced, how the board members are reacting, how diversity, how the board compensation done. So this all comes under the governance side, these also getting audited. So when you are continuously auditing, then you'll come to know what is the strength of the companies. So it is not this ESG is just not for the client side. You have to, whoever it may be, whether buyer or seller or your subcontractors or your various subunits, whatever you have, you must have a ESG practice. For them, you have a questionnaire, and then you ask them follow the rules and regulations based on the your rules and regulation about ESG. For environmental side and health and social and governance side, how the companies performing within their areas, and also what all the services doing for their if the contractors, buyers, purchasers, sellers, this all comes under the ESG umbrella. So when these people all coming to the ESG umbrella, sometimes there is an audit for the ESG audit for the these contractors, subcontractors, clients, subcontractors, contractors, buyers, sellers, and various subunits. So this kind of audit is always recommended. So when being a ESG professional, you must always be strict on all these things, and also it's a monitoring weekly reports, monthly reports, and then 3 months reports. If the major companies, they have to give the ESG report for the 6 months once and a yearly basis. These ESG reports they can submit to the their investors, stakeholders. They can see how the company performing in terms of ESG, and it's a healthy way of seeing the company performing better in through the audit. We have to submit the report for 6 months or yearly basis to the concerned investors, so they know it how the healthy trend is going for the environmental side, social side, governance side. So the company stakeholders also happy. We invested a company, that company is environmentally healthy. They are not polluting the environment much. They are contributing to the environment, contributing for the climate. They are reducing the climate change issues, and also reducing the carbon footprints, and also the minimizing the pollutions. The investors also happy about the environmental health, and also social side. They are caring their workers, their laborers and workers, how they are managing, how they are labor's compensation, community building, health and safety, welfare, everything. The report shows they have a proper wrap up. It will see the company's healthy run, and also it will go long run when the investors also invest there. ESG performs, so it's a good trend. There is no deviation, not much non-conformity. More or less, good audit report shows the social side. Companies doing well. They don't have any human rights issue. They are following human rights issues. Companies not following, not using the company people or laborers, strictly avoiding the tobacco material or harmful material. These are things the stockholders happy about the they invested a good company. The risk, the potential risk of the company is less. The same thing, governance side, how the company governing. That is very, very important. If the company is not properly governed, they are not properly contributing that which country they are working, they are not properly contributing means then there will be issues in future side. And also the board not properly evenly poised, or the board members not in a proper way of setup, the organization setup not that much means, then the risk of the company increases. So it means the governance part also very very important, that should be audited. So these audit reports, healthy audit reports, 6 months yearly ones, the ESG reports makes the stockholders, investors very happy. ESG reports says that the company is socially, environmentally responsible, and also proper backup, proper stand up. This it will run the company long time, and the potential risk not there, because nothing issues are there because of ESG. Because if the ESG environmental issues is the problem, then legislation will come. Sometimes company the legislative laws, rules and regulation will put up that company maybe, in a risk, maybe go to shut down, or they will lock up the company in case of legal issues. Then say associate also same. And also if the governance side, the board members not in a proper rhythmic, or they are not mutually concerned, there is no people bias means, in a board members bias means, it's not a healthy trend. So it will all make the companies risk. If this environment properly, legislation followed, the risk reduced. Health and safety, welfare, community engagements, and labors are properly working means risk reduced. Then governance side, board members are encouraged, they are compensated properly, they community builded, and then diversity seen, there is no bias. Companies also politically contributing, so governance also good. So when it comes to these three things, investors also very happy about the company's role when they are seeing the 6 months yearly report about the ESG. They are very happy about the company's performance, and they were never withdraw their stocks, and more investors come to the company side, and it will source the our healthy trend for that corporate company, and also they follow the continuous ASC rules and regulations. So this is the purpose and the implementation, and how it works, how the companies contributing the ESG side. So ESG is a new trend in worldwide. The ESG going to hit for the most of the all industries, because it's covering everything. It's covering the environment part, it's covering the pollution part, it's covering the permission, environmental permission, and dispose waste management, and climate change contributions. It covering the workers human rights, labor safety, welfare, and then it's covering the workers compensations, and it's covering the workers tobacco usage, or any other ill material usage restrictions, and the social side also. So, and also the governance side, it covers the top level managements, their board members, their contribution, and then their compensation, their diversity, and companies overall decision about the political contribution. These all comes means, so ESG overall companies healthy trend, healthy way. So definitely it will hit everywhere. Investors also happy, overall companies doing well, as per the legal side, as per the humanity side, as per the corporate side. Everywhere companies doing well means company overall in a healthy trend in stock market, and investors also happy in front of the media's. Companies also good name and attract more investors. So that will be the ESG. So you can learn more about ESGs on continuous learning through the online or workshops, and that will improve your standards about ESG. That will be the future. you can go for the human rights issues, and you can go for corporate issues. These all the things help you to more fit into the roles. So being a HSE safety and environmental professionals, you just learn more about ASDs and its ISO standards, and how it's doing, how it's contributing. That will be important. So that is the end of today's live session. We will see some other live session. Thank you for participating. Thank you very much.